What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week is King of all VR King, the Sub King himself, Resident Evil 7 King.
Hey.
My God.
Right?
Jeremy King.
Hello, folk.
It's just the one.
Just the one.
Hey, AJ.
Yeah.
Only one watching.
And to my left and your semi-right is regular ass Brian Paul. Clap, clap, clap. You get a clap. Did I clap last week?
I don't know. This is horrible introduction. And every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, dip into the PSVR archive, we pull out a game at random.
Yeah.
And then we tell you whether it's being made loved by developers, any updates, any DLC, and then we can tell you, the loyal game cats, on speed right now, if it's worth your time.
Yeah, it is.
Last week, we started talking about the Resident Evil 7 DLC.
Yes.
And this week,
we're
going to continue talking about the Resident Evil 7 DLC.
Part 2.
Yeah, if you missed last week's episode, go check it out. We talked about the Not a Hero free DLC, plus banned footage Volume 1, which include Nightmare in Bedroom. Mm-hmm. We also talked about a little bit about Resident Evil 7 proper, but not very much because you guys know already what a great game it is, how much we love it, and how it's the best game. So the first piece of DLC we want to talk about is the big one, right?
Yeah.
Like the Not a Hero was the big piece of, hey, here's a new adventure for you to play in Resident Evil 7 universe. Mm-hmm. And the second big one is End of Zoe.
Yeah.
And man, did they pull the rug out from underneath us on this one.
Yeah.
Right? How different was this?
Very different. Yeah, I mean, like, not only is there not guns,
Yeah.
you go around beating the shit out of everything. And you play as Jack's brother, the uncle.
Joe Baker.
I
kept wanting to call
Zoe's
him
uncle.
Joe Boxer.
Yeah. I used to have some of those.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were popular for like a year.
Yeah, that was about it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the Snoopy thing, right? Snoopy character. I had one with Snoopy's on.
Oh, that does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
End of Zoe, you play as Uncle Joe Baker.
Yeah.
And your first time through, there are no guns.
No.
I love this though. Still difficulty levels.
Yeah.
Right? Easy, medium, hard kind of thing.
Yep.
First time through. Consider playing on easy. Maybe your first time through. Because I will tell you that I had a huge problem beating the boss. My first time through on normal.
Yeah.
And I don't wish that on anybody. It really frustrated me.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the boss. I feel like I'm really jumping the gun here a little bit.
Yeah, right to the end.
Right.
Yeah. We'll skip over the infected alligators.
Yeah.
Or those crocodiles. I always get those confused.
They were crocodiles.
What's the difference?
I don't know. It's like frogs and toads.
Yeah. They both do...
Oh, wait. Are frogs and toads different?
Frogs and toads. They're two different words.
They certainly are.
Yeah.
But crocodiles and alligators are two different things. The only reason I know these are crocodiles is because I heard my main character say, crocodiles.
Let's hope he was educated enough to determine the difference.
Right. So you're walking around and you are punching. This is a first, like maybe the first time since Breakdown on the original Xbox.
Breakdown. I was literally just thinking of that when you said that.
I had a feeling you might be.
It's one of my favorites.
I want to beat you to it.
Yeah.
This is like one of the first times since then that I really remember like a good first-person beat-em-up game.
Right?
Yeah.
And combos. He did an undercut once in a while. I could never get the combo to work.
I wasn't good at the combos.
No. Boom. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, mostly because I don't have the muscle memory for this kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Unless this was the only game I was playing for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Right. Then I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna jam on that button for see what happens.
See how it works.
And there's no health packs either. You're tearing open bark and you're moving stones to find insects and like caterpillars and grubs and
They
stuff.
had some... Oh, that was probably in the easy? I did on the easy one.
Yeah?
They had some health potions.
I'm sure, you know what, you can craft health potions on normal, and I'm sure at some point I picked up a health potion or two.
Yeah.
Health potion, is that maybe not the correct
Term for Resident Evil, no.
right? But health pack, it's whatever, the stuff you
Something.
pour on yourself.
Yeah, you just toss it, waste it, you know?
Yeah, but if you
No
find...
cotton squab, you save some.
Right. Yeah, half it just falls on the ground.
Yeah, waste.
Yeah.
It's like water in movies when they're, I'm so thirsty, desert, and the water's spilling everywhere. I'm like, dude.
That was the last of the water.
Right? Just have a teeny sip.
Right.
You know? Anyways. So, yeah.
This is, again, an unexplored part of the Resident Evil 7 universe.
It's like his house is like neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're going through the forest a lot. You're going through all these shacks and stuff. And
swamps.
Right, and you're trying to save Zoe.
Yeah.
I think we should probably mention the story
Zoe,
arc
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
it's called End of Zoe. At a certain point in Resident Evil 7, you save Mia.
Yep.
And you have to leave Zoe on the dock.
Yep.
And this explains a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you're on a mission to go save Zoe. Mm-hmm. And how weird is it when you have to pick her up in VR and carry her from place to
And
place.
she's like right there too.
Right, like you look down and you're like, it really does seem like, even though I'm using a DualShock 4,
Yeah.
it feels like she's in my arms. Like it is that.
Right? You could almost feel the heat of her as you're carrying her along. It was crazy. Yeah.
She's so small.
She is very small. Well, what's his name again?
Jack?
JB?
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe Baker. He's fucking huge, just like his brother.
Right.
They're both massive dudes.
They are massive dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I will never be one.
That's what she said. So you're going through this. You're still killing molded.
Yes.
Molded are everywhere.
Everywhere.
And I'll tell you, punching molded is not really something that I want to do.
No.
So
But I felt more comfortable punching them.
Did you?
Yes.
Than shooting them?
Than shooting them.
Why?
I don't know. I felt less fear in this DLC than in the others, believe it or not. Because when I saw them, I knew I always had loaded guns. Do you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. You're not going to run out of ammo.
Yeah, I'm not going to run out of ammo. I just go up to them and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And I know you stomp them when they're down.
Yep.
You know, and you can block. And the block is pretty
Pretty effective. Yeah.
You know, even with the alligators.
Even with the crocodiles.
Those crocodiles. Those things are huge, too.
They are.
Oh.
In general, you want to just avoid them.
Yeah.
Eventually, you do find some spears.
yeah.
So, taking them down from a distance is way better.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah. But it's when I dropped back into this, immediately I said, holy crap. Like, it just, the second you drop into it, you go, this is why I love Resident Evil 7 so much.
Yeah.
Like, the AAA level of detail and polish.
Man.
Like, really no other game on the platform has managed to come to, like, to reach this level.
Still, I know.
Of immersion, of detail, of just,
Yeah.
like, really unbelievable environments. Even, the character models of the molded, like, as big, they're just big, amorphous blob sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the animation on them is so good, and, like, they'll lunge
yeah.
at you, and everything about this is just
the
stunning.
slight detail. I mean, even when you were, like, on that old boat portion in it.
It's all
and
rusted out and shit.
Yeah, and you're going through the ventilation shaft. You can see the flakes of rust, the screws, the bolts holding them, and they're all there, and they're like, you can interact. They're not like just drawn on there, flat, they protrude, out. And the enemies, there was one enemy in there, the molded, that I hadn't, or don't recall because it's been a while with Resident Evil, but the one that kind of looked like the enemy at the end of the Howard the Duck, I think. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. But he was on the stairs. He was like one of the molded, but he had those like weird wingy things.
Yeah.
Now, did I just forget, or was that new to that area?
So I don't remember those being in Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's played through the core game like almost 4 times
So many
now, I think.
times you have.
I think that would have jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it was new when I played
Yeah.
End of Zoe.
When I saw him, I was like, I've never seen those before.
But they do also appear in Nightmare as well, that we talked about last week. And so maybe these are just new for the DLC.
Maybe.
I don't know. But also, I'm totally ready to be wrong.
Yeah.
Right? It's like maybe I'm just not that attentive. Because also in Resident Evil 7, you're shooting a lot, shooting into the distance.
Yep.
And so like maybe 1 or 2 of them had that.
And you just didn't know.
And I didn't get close enough to see.
Didn't get to spread their wings and fly.
It's totally possible. Now, I feel like this gets more interesting as you progress through it.
It does, yeah.
In fact, right before the end, you get like this power glove.
Bionic arm thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you charge it up. You can actually hear it charging 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And each time you power it up, the longer you hold it, you can throw a harder punch.
Yeah.
And but if you have it fully charged, I mean, like the mold would just explode.
Done.
It's insane.
It's a fitting tool for the character that punches everything,
Yeah.
It was very scripted, but whatever. Like, if that was in a movie, I'd be like, come on, really?
Right.
This dude that punches now has a weapon made to punch these things?
Right.
You would think that anybody in, anywhere around there is going to build a weapon, shoot him at a distance. Not like, hey, let's build a punchy thing,
Yeah.
So, scrapping that,
That aside, I mean, yeah,
works perfectly.
This is about, who the hell is actually going to take on these things just by punching them? Like,
Right.
this is about as video game as video games
Yeah,
get.
it's very video game, like, for Resident Evil, very video game-ish.
Yeah, with the rest of Resident Evil 7 was, really, really dark and realistic and gritty.
Yeah.
In this, like, when you get the power glove, it's like, you just
Yeah.
kind of giggle. You're like, this is going to be great.
Yeah. This is exactly what I wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the great part about it is, again, kind of spoilery here. When you get finally you find yourself getting back to the Baker estate, and you open the back, the back gates, and you go, oh wow, I'm here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was here. And like the whole backyard is, what do they call that? Not canvassed, tented. Like,
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So they like tented the Baker estate because it's like a quarantine zone, like basically.
ET's
They've got the little tent set up in the backyard.
Yeah.
Where you can see that, like, obviously, was it stars?
Yeah.
We're there like trying to
confine the infection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it went horribly wrong. You can see evidence of that all around you, where
It
there's
always
just
goes wrong.
dead people everywhere, and you're just like, oh man, they tried and it was unsuccessful.
Yeah, if you ever see one of those tent things around a home, don't go in there because shit went wrong.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Bad news bears. and so you're walking through this whole tented area and actually going into the house again.
Yeah.
And just seeing like it looks completely different because it's all tented, and they were trying to they have everything set up as if this was their like base of operations.
Yeah.
And again, things went bad.
Yep.
You see Jack for the final time
again,
and it's like, I had the worst time with this boss fight on normal mode.
Okay.
And also because one of the times I died, and I don't know if this is legit or not. One of the times I died, it says that Jack is immune to any punch other than a fully charged one. Otherwise, if you throw in anything less than that, he recovers too quickly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, the loading screen just told me that every punch I throw has to be fully charged.
Yep.
And that was really hard to do.
Yeah.
To keep it charged and then also dodge his attacks.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you're ducking. You have to move from left to right to depending on his arm turns into a
whippy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a very difficult boss fight, or it was for me. I mean, if you guys watch the Let's Play, it was maybe the last like a full hour of me trying over and over and over and over again, learning the strategies and like finally figuring out I got to charge it fully. And it was like I was miserable.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that this to me reminded me of an old NES game or like a Dark Souls game, where like it was frustrating and impossible.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to give up, and when I finally got it, I was like, I deserved that.
Right.
Because I learned how to do it.
Yeah. That's you're right. Remember, because those days don't happen too often anymore.
Very infrequently.
Yeah. Where you keep dying but want to keep going because you want to finish it. It's been a while since I've had a game like that.
If it wasn't for VR, I'd probably still be playing Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Yeah. Wow. So again, the great thing about this is, this took me a couple hours.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
This was probably it didn't take me as long as the other one. I'm going to say an hour and a half, roughly, okay. I'd say.
The great thing about it is when you beat it, not only do you have more difficulty modes to go through it in, which I don't want this to be harder, but I do want to play it on harder modes.
Yeah.
And I think it unlocks Joe Must Die mode, which is like the hardest difficulty. It's like Madhouse difficulty.
Jeez, forget it.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Like as much as I love Resident Evil 7, I'm like not an expert when it comes to the DLC. This is all kind of strangely new to me.
Yeah.
But then it also does the same thing that we talked about Nightmare last week. How when you die, it's got XP bar kind of thing. It unlocks
more
new stuff.
Shit.
Right, so you're gonna try this again. Well, here's more stuff for you, and it actually unlocks, if I remember correctly, a shotgun.
Well, because the first time you go through, you're like, why do they even give me storage cases? Why do I need to store anything?
Right.
You know.
Yep. Yeah. And the second time through, it's gonna come in handy.
And I can see doing this over and over again. But I bet you could finish this in a half an hour by the time you go through a couple times. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's not challenging. It's not like overly difficult. There's not a bunch of like backtracking stuff. It definitely ramps up with the challenges towards the end, especially fighting Jack. But other than that, everything else was pretty straightforward. Yeah, which I like.
And if you know where you're going, you know, well, you don't waste your time over here. Just keep going this way. And like you're like, oh, okay, I only need 2 spears to kill that croc and that croc.
Yeah.
And then I can go up there and get 3 more spears and head this way and kill. You know, I only need to kill one of them.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. You know, like killing it. So yeah, I totally agree. This is something I want to speedrun. This is something I want to be able to beat on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
I want to see what else unlocks as I go through it again. This is, I mean, we shit on Not a Hero a little bit last week.
A little bit,
only because it didn't feel very Resident Evil 7 like.
Yeah, it was more like Resident Evil 5 or 6.
And somehow, this forces you to play. End of Zoe forces you to play the first time without a gun.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you a shotgun until your second time around.
Second time, yeah.
And somehow this feels more like Resident Evil 7 than Not a Hero did.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I want to like play the crap out of this. I want to get really good at End of Zoe.
Yeah.
This is a 1.
Oh, I'm with you. This is a 1. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know who's smoking what over there at Capcom.
Yeah.
But they're just saying, what if we try this? And
Right.
they go, whoever's in charge is like, yeah, go for it. Give it a
Must
shot.
have been a good day. They're like, he's in a good mood. Let's try to get him to approve everything. Right?
They're all smoking.
Yeah.
They're like, just whatever. We just need something by the end of the week. Hurry up.
Right?
So let's talk about banned footage volume 2.
All right.
And we're going to start off with something I didn't think I was going to care at all about.
Okay.
A game called 21.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, right?
I mean, again, the people who are making this stuff must have watched a lot of Saw movies.
They must have watched a Saw marathon for this one. Yeah, they must have.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you find yourself at a blackjack table, sitting across. Oh, here you're Clancy again. Poor fucking Clancy.
Fucking Clancy.
Dude, like, I feel awful for this guy. And you're basically playing a modified version of blackjack.
Very
modified.
modified.
With Lucas as the dealer on television screens.
Yeah.
Who I'm pretty sure fucking cheats so much.
Oh, he just watched Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. This is totally a 2-man enter, 1-man leave scenario.
And you're playing against this guy who's got a bag over his head named Hoffman.
Yeah.
And I looked it up online because again, I'm the Resident Evil 7 lore. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I don't know.
Hoffman?
Who's Hoffman? And even online, it seemed like he was new for this piece of DLC.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there
Fodder.
knows, maybe if he's from somewhere else, let me know because I want to know this stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if you had a burlap sack on too, but they just didn't want you to have to look through a burlap sack playing it, so they just kept it because that's not a fair advantage.
Well, Ellie, when only one person has a burlap sack on,
Yeah.
well then neither person can see each other's face.
No, but
So
it's always
that's
like
all
the
you
odds.
need.
Don't you feel like the odds are in my favor more than his? Because I can see.
I'm a little curious to know how he knew what cards he had.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, despite that,
Yeah.
this is a strange modified version of blackjack.
Yeah, and it's tiered.
It is tiered.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's only 11 numbered cards in the deck. There are 11 cards, 1 through 11, and so you know full well this is kind of like a process of elimination sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's no repeated numbers in the deck.
No.
So you can kind of figure out what Hoffman has.
Yeah.
If you look at all the cards that are out there,
You gotta figure it out.
probability are did he go over 21? Maybe.
Yeah.
How far away from 21 is he? That whole thing. And so it's a guessing game, but it's also a little bit of process of elimination.
Yep.
At least for round 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to explain this?
Yeah. You got your hand in some weird contraption, and they'll chop your finger off each round, if you will. It's almost like a cigar. They'll
Yeah.
cut off their fucking finger. Oh.
It's like a little finger guillotines.
Yeah. It's awful.
Guillotine.
Guillotine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And so yeah, if you lose a hand, you're getting a finger chopped off.
Side note.
Side note.
Did you know that the last person to get executed by guillotine was in our lifetime in France, I think it was? It's like it was either the end of the 70s or the beginning of the 80s. Isn't that something?
It doesn't surprise me though. France is France. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you guys know if you live in France, like
Guillotines.
guillotines. Right. They're probably on every street corner.
It's all the fad.
Like remember when we used to chop people's heads off on these things?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
right? So, it's Sunday, let's go watch the chopping.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
It's chopping time.
Oh, wait, they wouldn't have British
Right.
accents.
By the way, I'm half French. So if you think I'm making fun of people.
He
I
has
am.
a right to.
So
Yes.
My first time through round 1, I didn't have any fingers chopped off.
Nice.
Poor Hoffman.
Yeah.
Lost all of his
All of
fingers.
them.
All
Yeah.
gone. Gone.
Yeah. He
And
needs a sex spot now.
You think he's dead.
Yeah.
And he comes back like, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna do it. And then the lights go off. Next thing you know, you're now both strapped to like an electric a machine that disperses electricity.
Yeah.
The voltage goes up every single time, and finally, again, every electricity goes up. The voltage goes up every single round, and finally, it'll kill you at a certain point, and you're playing this game again. But now they introduce, I don't know if they're called trump cards or bonus cards, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
But you can, you'll get a bonus card, and it'll say, you can use it to. They all have different rules. It's
It's like double their last card count or something, or
Like-
reduce yours.
You'll get cards that say retract the last card that I drew, or retract the last card that your opponent drew.
Mm-hmm.
You get cards that say give me a 5 if there's one in the deck.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, I could use a 5, and so you use that card.
Yeah.
But then it's like, sorry, there's not one in the deck, and you go, he's got a 5. So it's again another way to figure out, if you don't have any
Process of
5s and no
elimination.
5s are showing on his side, you're like, well, if it's not in the deck, he must have a 5.
Yeah.
So it's all these things, and it gets more and more convoluted and complicated.
Yeah.
To the point where, at one point, my opponent threw out a card that said, the rules of the game have changed. Where you're no longer trying to get to 21, you're trying to get to 24.
Oh wow!
I was like, "Fuck this game!" Like they seriously cheat their ass off by round 3.
Jeez.
And it's ridiculous. But the whole game is you sitting there at the card table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want this to be a full-fledged game. Like I want 21 to be an actual game that I can play against other people in VR.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Did you love this like I did?
I mean, I thought it was all right. I mean,
I mean, you're so hard to impress.
I mean, it was a neat premise and all.
Yeah.
But just like, one and done type of thing, like experiencing it. And then am I going to go back to it? No.
Yeah.
I just more wonder these bakers, like if they applied their creativity with how they torture people towards something else.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be able to clean their house up and get a nicer place that's a little closer to dry land. Clean up some of the sludge that's emanating out of their weird infected shoulder areas or whatever the hell they have. I don't know. I just feel like they put a lot of time into torture devices.
Yeah.
Especially, what's his name? Ethan? No. Fucking the son. The boy.
Lucas.
Yeah. Lucas. Dude, such a dick. He's the
He is.
biggest screw loose out of that family.
Yeah.
Whatever
happened to the bakers,
Yeah.
as soon as they changed from normal people, quote unquote,
Yeah.
like it affected them in a strange way. They're not zombies.
Yeah.
They're just demented.
Demented.
It's strange.
Except him. He was like, he's still the same dickhead.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm kind of with you on the one and done aspect of this.
Yeah.
Where it's the way that it's set up, where it's so cinematic, where it's
Yeah.
like between every hand, you have to kind of wait between every round.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait for the lights to go off and the new device to be strapped to you, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, you got to watch Lucas like be a dick and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And so it feels more of a one and done, but. For me, I want to play it until I've completed it.
Yeah.
Which is really difficult, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
If Capcom was like, hey, we're going to make this into a full-fledged game where you can play against other people online.
Yeah.
And you can actually, I think that would be amazing.
It would be fun. I could see that being fun against a real opponent.
Yeah.
Like, I got your fingers chopped off.
Right. And like, you can both see just fine, but in VR, it looks like the other person has a bag on their head.
Yeah.
And so it's going, oh my God, I can't, this sucks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All right. And then finally, the last piece of band footage volume 2
Yeah.
is Daughters.
Daughters, yeah.
Daughters is, you play as Zoe.
Yep.
Okay. And this is the most Resident Evil.
Yeah.
This just feels like an extra piece of Resident Evil 7.
Yep.
Tell me about it.
So it's weird. You get a glimpse of seeing the bakers as it's basically telling the story. There's flooding. You're watching something on the news and they're talking about the flooding. And then Jack, rescues that girl, right? And she's fucking drenched. And you see
the little girl that caused the whole mess.
The whole mess.
Yep.
And then you see the mother being all Marguerite. I forget all their names.
Yeah.
And how she's just like, oh, get this poor child in the bed. And it's like, what's going on here? These people are very kind of nice, except Lucas. He's still a dick.
He's still a dick.
It's like, put her in Lucas's old room. And he's, yeah, ma. It's like, dude, come on. You don't use the room.
But Lucas is a kind of like a typical like teenager or early 20s where he's like still not moved out of the house and he's just kind of like got a chip on his shoulder.
Wicked.
Which like pretty normal for teenagers
for the
or
most part,
for that.
Yeah.
So he's not like demented yet.
No, not yet.
But this is like where the seeds of all of it begin.
Oh yeah.
And it's so interesting to walk around the house and not be afraid of anybody.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's Jack. He's your dad.
And he's so nice. Got a shirt on. He's
dressed,
glasses. He's talking all nice. His face looks normal. And it's like unsettling, of how like
because you know what's to come.
Yeah, and they become like they get twisted, and it almost makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
It's neat how they went back to it and did a backtrack to show you what they were like. Because remember, you'd see the photos in Resident Evil 7. Their family sitting on the couch, and Jack's there with his kids and his wife. And you're like, how would they? And when they're like little, and you're like, no,
Can't even picture it.
No.
Yeah.
And now seeing this, you're like, wow, they were trying to be helpful,
Right.
And like, oh my, you always wanted to have a bed and breakfast, and it's like, oh, their dreams are just shattered by that fucking girl,
And other than the family, I think the house itself was cleaned up just a bit, like
a little bit
for this DLC.
Yeah,
it's still like dilapidated. Like
a little bit, yeah.
It's like you're like, oh, they're still living here.
Yeah.
But it's not quite to the extent as it is in Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Like the stairs that are totally broken down in Resident Evil 7 are there.
Yeah, they're there.
Right? And the hallways are a little cleaner. I noticed that I walked down the hallway and I saw like a reflection.
Yeah.
On the wood floor, where I was like, "There's definitely not a reflection."
No,
because there's too much dirt and grime in the original game.
Decay.
And so you're still like, okay, this house is on its way out.
Yeah.
But it's kind of almost livable at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like they cleaned it up just enough to make it convincing.
Yeah, where it wasn't just a complete change. Where you're like, what is this? An alternate history, an alternate timeline?
Yeah.
No, it's still a shitty house. You know, underneath the house was still pretty cluttered and shitty.
The same.
Yeah, you know, the whole garage. It was neat how they had you go back to these areas that later on you'd be, you know, thinking you killed Jack and you didn't, you know.
Yeah, it's like there's a different car in the garage.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's like shit had happened like between this and that. How long did this take you?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't think an hour maybe.
Yeah,
roughly
less than an hour for me.
You know,
it's fairly straightforward.
Yeah,
I feel like, you know, there's
it's just more fleshing out the story. It's not really
there's only a few puzzles
survival.
to solve.
Yeah,
if you find one thing and you're like, oh, I'm gonna put it over here.
Yeah,
that brings down the ladder.
Yeah.
Okay, now I need to go find this password. Okay, no big deal. What I did like about it was that as soon as shit hits the fan, all you have is the Zippo.
The fucking lighter.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for a game that is dark and you're like suddenly, oh crap, I'm scared again. To not be able to even see more than a few feet ahead of you.
Yeah.
Amazingly convincing all over again.
Yeah, because you get to see how Zoe, which, you know, you feel so bad for this woman. Yeah. You know, seeing her family just like, and then she's fearful. Then you're surviving, trying to sneak out so you don't get fucking maimed by your own family, which we don't want to give away shit, but, well, if they played Resident Evil 7, they kind of know how shit turns out.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah,
good.
I liked it.
Again, it wasn't. It was limited to only a few areas.
Yep.
I think only like the main part of like the first part of the house, and then you do actually get to the trailer. In the backyard. But again, very confined. Just like not as confined as the bedroom DLC.
No.
But this again, it just felt like a mini Resident Evil 7 game.
Yeah, it just helped the story. It definitely helped the story.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I liked how they did it that way, and they went to the beginning of it, so you could see it all before shit went down.
Right.
And it went down.
It went down.
You know?
Went down hard.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, you know, like they totally could have gone back even further, and they could have delved deeper into the Baker, you know, their history and their family and everything.
I don't know if anybody would be curious. When they were normal, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
you know,
they didn't seem very interesting.
No. If you played Resident Evil and you played it like when it came out 2 years, 3 years back, or even just last year, and you want more, these definitely give you mini games and more story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. This really kind of set my mind straight about DLC. Like I was saying last week, I played Not a Hero and was like, all right, this is all right. It was good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad it was free. And then, but it also kind of put me off of DLC for the rest of it.
Yeah.
And now that I've been sort of forced for these episodes to go through and play it all, man, I'm just like, if you're out there and you're like, man, there's not enough AAA stuff on PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Then this is your answer.
Oh, big time.
Right? He's like, just go buy the DLC for Resident Evil 7. More of the best thing out there. Is still makes the best thing out there even better.
Oh yeah,
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
I'm giving all of this DLC a 1.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. I'm so happy we did this.
Yeah, I'm with you on this DLC as well. The only one that got a 2 for me was on last week's episode.
Was Nightmare?
Nightmare.
Oh, and I think that's my favorite piece of DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could just play that over and over and over and over. And actually, as soon as you're gone, I'm gonna play it again.
I'm gonna go play it.
Yeah. Although I do have to edit this and upload this week, and
That's right.
I got so much
This
stuff
week.
to do. Oh man.
I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah, we do it too much. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Right.
All right, guys. So this again, these were episodes that were highly requested of you guys. Almost every week, somebody goes, "You guys gonna do the Resident Evil 7 DLC?"
No, we're almost out. So Borderlands, we did that. That was a big requested one. Resident Evil 7 was another huge requested one.
Yeah.
What's another big one? We'll leave their comments below.
Yeah, like let us know, guys, because obviously you've left a bunch of great suggestions.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and check, but let us know what other games you want us to cover. Don't forget, do a search first, because Des and I covered a whole lot before Jeremy joined the show.
A lot of them.
And we don't mind double dipping a little bit. Merville's was fun to revisit.
Yeah.
But we don't want to make that like a every week kind of thing.
Constant thing, yeah.
All right, well, that's it for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. My name's Brian Paul.
And I'm Jeremy King.
And we'll see you
next week.
No, we did it again.
Ah, God damn it.